The morning was unusually crisp for late spring, the kind of day where the sun shone bright, but the breeze carried a chill that could sneak under even the thickest hoodie. Marcus didn't care. He had gloves on, boots laced, and the heavy groan of the trash compactor on the back of the truck drowned out every bird and breeze around him. He lifted another trash container and hooked it to the hydraulic arms. The metal squealed as the bin was hoisted up and tipped over, its contents clattering in. Oh, the truck! He wiped the sweat off his forehead with the back of his wrist, leaving a smudge of grime across his temple. Just another day en route. He barely noticed the sleek black SUV that had pulled up across the street. Nor did he see the woman step out, heels clicking softly against the pavement, until she was already halfway past him. Then she stopped. She froze just a few steps from the truck, blinking at him as if unsure if her eyes were playing tricks. Her dress shimmered in the sun, light, emerald green silk, fitted, expensive. Her long dark hair was swept to one side, revealing a sharp jawline and subtle diamond earrings. She looked like she had walked off a runway and landed in the middle of his route. "Marcus," she said tentatively. He turned, confused at first. Then his eyebrows lifted, surprise. It took him a second, but once he saw her eyes, hazel, always a little sad even when she smiled, he knew. "Jasmine," he said, unsure if he was right. She let out a BR. That sounded like a laugh and stepped forward. "Oh my God, Marcus King. I haven't seen you since what? Graduation." Marcus looked down at himself, dirty orange vest, stained jeans, work gloves, and then at her, glowing, elegant, poised. The contrast was enough to make his chest tighten. "Yeah," he said. "It's been a while." Jasmine tilted her head, studying him. "You look different, but still the same. Same eyes." Marcus scratched the back of his neck. You look different, too. You used to wear hoodies and sneakers." She laughed again. "I grew out of those. Got tired of being the tomboy with messy hair." He smiled faintly. "Didn't seem to bother you back then." "It didn't," she said, then hesitated. "I didn't think I'd see you here." "Yeah, well," he looked back at the truck, then at her. "This is my route now." It paused, the kind that stretches just long enough to make things awkward. She didn't fill it with small talk. Instead, she looked at him carefully, as if trying to read what wasn't being said. "You used to be the smartest guy in school," she said softly. "You tutored half the senior class, remember?" Marcus chuckled dryly. "Yeah, I remember. Algebra, physics, even some French. And you got that scholarship. Full ride to Duke." His smile faded a little. What happened?" she asked, before realizing it might have been too direct. "I mean, sorry. I don't mean to pry. It's a shock, you know." He shrugged. "Life happened. I go." She didn't push, sensing it wasn't something he wanted to dive into on the street. "You always said you wanted to be an engineer. Work for NASA." He nodded slowly. That was the plan." A gust of wind caught her hair, and she pushed it behind her ear. "I always thought you'd go far. Farther than anyone else from our class." Marcus offered a half smile. "And I always thought you'd end up in LA on a billboard or something." "I'm in marketing now," she said. "Own a couple of, brands. You've probably seen the ads online. JAY Essence." "That's me." Marcus blinked. "Wait, that's you. My sister uses that face serum." She grinned. "Small world." He laughed under his breath. "Guess one of us did all right." Jasmine's face softened. "Hey, come on, Marcus. I'm not judging. It's weird, you know. You were everything in high school. Smart, fine, confident. I kind of looked up to you." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "You looked up to me?" She blushed a little. Laughing. Don't act so surprised. Remember when you helped me pass that chemistry final? I thought I was gonna fail the whole year." "Yeah, I remember." He smiled for real this time. "You kept drawing little hearts on the edge of your notes." Her face turned red. "You noticed that?" "I wasn't blind." They both laughed, and for a moment, the years between them seemed to fall away. There was a warmth in the silence that followed, something comfortable and familiar. But then a honk the truck broke it. Marcus turned toward his coworker, who leaned out the passenger side window. We gotta finish the block before noon." 2 minutes. Marcus called back, then turned to Jasmine. "Guess I gotta go." She nodded, but hesitated. "Would you want to grab a coffee sometime? Just to catch up?" He looked at her for a moment. "You serious?" "Yeah. I mean, if you're up for it. I get off around 4. There's a cafe on Lincoln and 3rd. I'll be there at 4:15. Marcus SM. "I'll obey." She started to walk away, then turned back. "And Marcus?" "It's really good to see you." "You too, Jasmine." As she walked off, he watched her go, tall, confident, still with that same slight bounce in her step. And for the first time in years, Marcus felt something shift inside him. Something he couldn't name yet, but it felt a lot like hope. Marcus tossed the last empty bin onto the back of the truck. The hydraulic lift groaned and hissed behind him as the sea compactor swallowed it up. His gloves were slick with sweat, and the August sun beat down like it was angry, but none of it registered fully. Not the heat, not the smell, not even the ache in his back. His mind was still stuck on that one moment. It's really good to see you. He hadn't expected that. Jasmine, no. Jasmine still had that voice. Like she was always about to say something worth listening to. The kind of voice that made people stop and actually pay attention. She looked like money. Now, sure, but under it, same girl, same eyes, same bounce in her step. Yo, Marcus, a voice called out. You daydreamin'? We gotta hit Oak Ridge before noon, man. Marcus blinked, snapping out of it. He gave Terrence, his coworker, a quick nod and climbed back onto the side step of the truck. I'm good, he mumbled. Let's move. As the truck rolled forward, Marcus kept one hand on the rail and let the wind hit his face. But inside, something churned. A quiet stirring that had been buried under years of hard work, debt, and disappointment. Meanwhile, across town, Jasmine sat at the marble kitchen island of her townhome, swirling a spoon through her oat milk latte. Her phone lay on the countertop, screen dark, unmoving. She hadn't told anyone about the encounter. Not her assistant, not her boyfriend, not even her therapist, who would have probably said it was a symbolic resurfacing of unresolved emotion. But the moment was still there, like a pebble in her shoe she couldn't ignore. She'd seen him sweating, muscles tense, in that faded uniform. He looked like someone life had beat down, but not broken. It stirred something strange in her. Guilt? No, not guilt. Longing. Maybe. Not for romance. For something real. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated for half a second before swiping it open. Hey, it's Marcus. Didn't want to let the moment pass like that. Hope this ain't weird. Just wanted to say thanks for saying it was good to see me. It really was. Jasmine stared at the message for a long time, then typed, It wasn't weird. It really was good to see you too. You haven't changed as much as you think. Then she paused, looked at the blinking cursor, deleted the last line, typed again. You still have that calm energy. I remember that. And hit send. Marcus was back at the depot by late afternoon, peeling off his gloves and splashing water on his face. The garage smelled like diesel and spilled coffee. He checked his phone as he sat on a sting bench by the lockers. One reply. He read it twice. A smile pulled at the corner of his lips. Not a grin, not joy, just something warmer than usual. He tapped out a response. You were always good at remembering things. I still remember when you did that speech at senior awards night. You had half the gym crying. He paused. You still do that kind of work? Speaking and all? He sent it and locked the phone. He didn't want to sit there like a teenager, waiting for bubbles to pop up. Back in her car, Jasmine parked outside her office building. Her afternoon meeting with a client had been pushed, but she still wore her heels and blazer, perfectly styled, perfectly pressed. She opened Marcus's message. She remembered that speech. She'd cried writing it. He'd been in the front row that night, next to his mother. She'd been wearing a floral headwrap, and she smiled so wide when Jasmine spoke. That woman had hugged her afterward, said something like, You're gonna move mountain. Baby. She hadn't thought of that moment in a decade. She's tired. I run a consulting firm now, mostly branding and strategy. Still speak at conferences sometimes, but it's not like back then. Nothing felt as honest as high school. Another pause. I still remember your mom, Marcus. She hugged me after that speech. She told me I'd move mountains. The screen stayed lit in Marcus's palm. His throat tightened a bit. She loved you. She said you had fire in you, even back then. She passed 6 years ago. Cancer. He didn't add the rest. The hospital bills, the job offers he turned down, the full-ride scholarship he walked away from to take care of her. Jasmine read the message while staring through the windshield. Traffic moved like molasses in front of her, but she didn't care. She wrote, I'm really sorry, Marcus. She was a beautiful soul. I remember how proud she looked of you. Always. I wish I'd known. Then added, if you ever want coffee or just to catch up properly, let me No, I'm not far. She stared at the message for a full minute, then hit send. That evening, Marcus sat on the steps outside his building, feet bare, sweat-drenched shirt beside him. He watched the sky turn orange-pink and felt his phone buzz once more. He read the invite, and for the first time in years, he didn't hesitate. He typed, Coffee sounds good. I get off Thursdays at 4. Let me know a spot. He hit send, and sat there smiling. Not big, not like in movies. Just enough. Like someone, remembering who he used to be. Thursday afternoon arrived with a cool breeze. The sky painted in soft hues of gold and lilac as the sun dipped low. Marcus wiped the sweat from his brow as he clocked out from work, the usual ache settling in his muscles. He pulled out his phone and reread the message from Jasmine one last time. There's a little cafe on Lincoln and 3rd, quiet, good coffee. See you at 4:15. He typed back, "See you then." The cafe was nestled on a quiet corner, its window WS framed with climbing ivy and a small chalkboard sign boasting locally roasted coffee and fresh pastries. Marcus arrived a few minutes early, scanning the interior with a mix of nerves and curiosity. Jasmine was already there, sitting by the window, her hazel eyes lighting up as she spotted him. "Hey," she said warmly, standing up to greet him. "Hey," Marcus replied, feeling an unexpected rush of calm. They ordered coffee and sat down at a small table in the corner. The scent of fresh espresso filled the air. "So," Jasmine began, stirring her cup, "tell me, what's your day like, really?" Marcus laughed softly. "It's work, mostly. Early mornings, heavy lifting. Not glamorous, but honest," she added. He nodded. "Duh, I like that about it. Feels real." She smiled. "I remember when you used to talk about building rockets." "Still do," he admitted. "Just different kind of building now." They talked about the years apart, how life had shaped them in ways neither expect. Jasmine spoke of her company, the challenges and victories. Marcus shared stories of his mother's illness, the sacrifice that had kept him home, and the roads he'd chosen since. Between sips and shared laughter, old walls began to crumble. There was no judgment here, only a rediscovery of the person beneath the years. As the afternoon light faded, Marcus realized something he hadn't in a long time. He was exactly where he needed to be. The days following their coffee meeting lingered in Marcus's mind like a melody he couldn't shake. The warmth in Jasmine's smile, the easy rhythm of their conversation, it was as if the years between them shrank with every memory shared. Marcus found himself scrolling through his phone more often, reading messages, replaying their moments. He debated texting her again, unsure if it was too soon or if she even wanted to continue. But finally, one quiet evening, after his shift ended, he typed, "Had a good time today. Would you want to do it, guy? And sometime?" Minutes later, the reply came, "I'd like that." The following Saturday, Marcus arrived at the park where Jasmine said they could meet. The sun was higher in the sky, warmer, and children's laughter echoed from the playground nearby. Jasmine was already there, dressed casually in jeans and a light sweater, a gentle smile greeting him as he approached. They started walking along the tree-lined path, the crisp spring air filling their lungs. "I've always loved this park," Jasmine said, kicking at a stray pebble. "It's where I used to bring my little brother when we were kids." Marcus nodded. "I used to come here with my mom. She loved watching the ducks." There was a brief silence before Marcus ventured, "Do you ever think about those school days? How different things were?" Jasmine sighed softly. "All the time. I was so sure about my future back then. College, big city life, success, and yet here we are," Marcus said, smiling. "Two very different paths that somehow crossed again." Jasmine looked up at him, eyes shining. Maybe they weren't so different after all. As they walked, Marcus found himself opening up in ways he hadn't in years. He spoke about his fears, how watching his mother fight cancer shaped his decisions, how the weight of responsibility sometimes felt crushing. Jasmine listened attentively, her hand brushing against his briefly. "I'm sorry you had to go through all that alone," she said gently. "It wasn't alone," Marcus corrected. "I had you. Even if we weren't close, you were there in my memories." Jasmine smiled, touched. "And I never forgot you either." The conversation shifted, lighter now, filled with teasing and laughter as they recounted school pranks and favorite teachers. The years apart melted away. As the sun began to dip behind the horizon, casting golden hues across the park, Marcus stopped. "Jasmine, I know it's been a long time, but I feel like this, is something worth exploring." She met his gaze. Eased steadily. "I feel the same, but we need to be honest. Life's been complicated for both of us." "I'm ready for honest," Marcus said. "Me too," she agreed. They stood together for a moment, letting the stillness between them speak louder than words. Finally, Jasmine reached into her bag and pulled out 2 tickets. "For what?" Marcus asked, curious. "A jazz concert downtown next week," she said with a grin. "Thought it'd be a nice way to start exploring." Marcus chuckled. "Sounds perfect." As they walked back toward the park entrance, a feeling settled in Marcus's chest, a blend of hope, anticipation, and something like peace. Maybe, just maybe, the bridge between their past and future was stronger than either imagined. The week before the jazz concert passed slowly for Marcus. Each day after work, he found himself replaying moments with Jasmine, the way she laughed, the warmth in her eyes, the ease of their conversations. It was a strange feeling, one he hadn't experienced in a long time, hope mingled with excitement and a hint of vulnerability. On the morning of the concert, Marcus stood in front of his mirror, carefully choosing his outfit, a crisp navy shirt and dark jeans. Nothing flashy, but enough to show he cared. He ran his fingers through his hair and took a deep breath. Meanwhile, Jasmine was getting ready in her small apartment. She chose a simple black dress, something elegant but comfortable. She glanced at herself in the mirror, smoothing down her Her heart was pounding with anticipation. As they met outside the venue, the city lights just starting to flicker on, Marcus smiled warmly. "You look beautiful," he said. Jasmine blushed. "Thank you. You clean up pretty well yourself." Inside the jazz club, the atmosphere was intimate, the dim lighting casting a cozy glow. The music was soulful, each note weaving around the crowd like a gentle embrace. They found a table near the stage and settled in, sipping their drinks. The conversat ion flowed effortlessly, punctuated by shared smiles and the occasional playful tease. After a particularly moving saxophone solo, Marcus turned to Jasmine. "I'm glad you invited me," he said softly. "This feels right." She nodded. "Me too." As the night deepened, they spoke of dreams long deferred and those still alive. Jasmine shared her hopes for expanding her business. Marcus revealed his secret desire to return to school someday, maybe study engineering or environmental science. "I want to build something lasting," he said, "not just trucks and routes." Jasmine reached across the table, taking his hand in hers. "We'll build it together," she promised. When the night ended, they lingered outside, reluctant to say goodbye. "Same time next week?" Marcus asked. Jasmine smiled. "Definitely." As they parted ways, both felt the weight of walls beginning to crumble, walls built by time, distance, and hardship. But now, with trust and renewed connection, a new chapter was open. The following week felt like a whirlwind for Marcus. He found himself waking up earlier, energized in a way he hadn't been in years. The conversations with Jasmine stayed with him, sparking ideas and hopes he thought he'd buried long ago. But beneath the excitement was a gnawing uncertainty. Could this connection survive the realities of their very different worlds? On the day of their next meeting, Marcus arrived at the cafe where they had first reconnected. He wore his usual work clothes, but had managed to wash the grime from his hands and face, his dark eyes bright with anticipation. Jasmine was already there, waiting with a radiant smile that softened his doubts. She looked effortlessly stunning in a casual blouse and jeans, the kind of look that made everyone turn their heads without trying. They greeted each other warmly, and Marcus felt the familiar ease return. "So," Jasmine began as they sipped their coffees, "how's work been treating you?" "Busy," Marcus said, "but the routes change, but the work is steady. I'm saving up for school, maybe next year." "That's amazing," Jasmine replied sincerely. "I'm proud of you." Marcus looked down, the weight of his dreams pressing on him. "Sometimes I wonder if I'm dreaming too big." Jasmine reached out, touching his arm gently. "Don't ever doubt yourself. You've got more strength than you realize." They talked late into the afternoon, their conversation weaving between laughter and serious moments. Jasmine opened up about the pressures of running a business, the loneliness behind the success. Marcus admitted to feelings of being stuck despite his hard work. As the sun began to set, a shadow of tension crossed Marcus's face. "There's something I've been meaning to tell you," he said hesitantly. Jasmine's eyes searched his. "What is it?" Marcus took a deep breath. "I'm still living in my mother's old apartment. It's not much, and I know it's worlds away from your life." She smiled gently. Arcus, that doesn't matter. What matters is who you are now, and who you want to be." Still, Marcus felt the old doubts creeping in. Could their worlds truly meet? Could love bridge such a gap? Jasmine squeezed his hand reassuringly. "We'll figure it out together." They stood, ready to part for the evening. "Tomorrow's Saturday," Marcus said. "Oh, day?" Jasmine nodded with a smile. "Looking forward to it." As Marcus watched her walk away, a mix of hope and uncertainty swirled inside him. The road ahead was unclear, but for the first time in a long time, he was willing to walk it, step by step. Saturday morning dawned crisp and clear. Marcus woke up early, his mind buzzing with anticipation. Today was their day, a chance to step away from old routines and build new memories. He dressed carefully, choosing clothes that balanced comfort with a hint of something special. Meanwhile, Jasmine prepared breakfast for her younger brother, chatting animatedly about the plans for the day. She felt a flutter of excitement and nervousness, wondering how their time together might deepen the fragile connection they were nurturing. They met at a small farmer's market downtown, its stalls bursting with colors, scents, and lively chatter. The crowd was diverse, families, couples, street musicians, a slice of life both simple and vibrant. Marcus arrived first, waiting near a vendor selling fresh berries. Jasmine spotted him moments later, her smile brightening the morning. "Wife of the day?" she asked, looping her arm through his. "More than ready," Marcus replied, his eyes reflecting a rare lightness. They wandered the market, sampling fresh fruits and chatting with vendors. Marcus bought a bouquet of wildflowers for Jasmine, who laughed with genuine surprise. They talked about childhood memories, favorite foods, and dreams yet to be realized. Jasmine shared stories about growing up in a bustling household, balancing school and family. Marcus spoke of his mother's strength and his own struggles to carve out a better future. As the sun climbed higher, they found a quiet spot by a small park fountain. Children played nearby, their laughter filling the air. Jasmine turned to Marcus, her gaze steady. I feel like we're really getting to know each other. Marcus nodded. Yeah, it's like the walls I built are finally starting to come down. She reached for his hand, squeezing it gently. I'm glad we're taking this slow. Real connections don't happen overnight. He smiled, a warmth spreading through him. With you, I think I can be patient. The day stretched on, filled with simple joys and honest conversations. As evening approached, they sat on a bench overlooking the city's skyline, the glow of sunset casting golden hues over everything. Jasmine rested her head on Marcus's shoulder. Thank you for today, she whispered. Marcus kissed her forehead softly. Thank you for giving me hope. For the first time in a long time, neither of them worried about the past or the future. They simply existed in the moment, two souls bridging a gap built by time and circumstance. The next morning, Marcus woke with a lingering smile from the day before. Yet beneath the warmth, a shadow of unease crept in. Memories he had buried, the harsh realities of his past sometimes felt like walls closing in. His phone buzzed with a message from Jasmine. Can we talk later? I have something to tell you. Curious and slightly anxious, Marcus replied, of course, whenever you're ready. Later that evening, they met at a quiet cafe, the soft hum of conversation around them. Jasmine's smile was tinged with worry. Marcus, I didn't tell you everything about my life. He took her hand gently. You don't have to. She shook her head. No, I want to. I owe you honesty. She paused, gathering courage. Before I started my business, I struggled a lot. I faced failures, lost friends, even made some bad choices. Sometimes, I felt like I was losing my soul. Marcus squeezed her hand. Thank you for trusting me. She looked into his eyes. I want us to build something real. But the past, sometimes it feels like it's still holding me back. Marcus nodded, understanding all too well. My mom was sick for years, he said quietly. Watching her fade, it changed everything. I had to grow up fast, give up a lot. But I'm still here, still fighting. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of shared pain bridging their worlds. Maybe that's why we found each other, Jasmine whispered. Deal. Marcus smiled softly. Together, they left the cafe hand in hand, ready to face whatever shadows lingered, but now, with each other's strength. The days grew warmer as spring blossomed, mirroring the growing warmth between Marcus and Jasmine. Their connection deepened with every shared moment. Quiet dinners, walks through the city, and endless conversations that stretched into the night. One Saturday afternoon, Jasmine invited Marcus to her apartment. It was modest but filled with small touches that reflected her personality. Framed photos, plants by the windows, and shelves lined with books on business and self-improvement. As they settled on the couch, Jasmine reached out and intertwined her fingers with his. I've been thinking, she began softly, about what comes next for us. Marcus smiled. Me too. She paused. I want us to be more than just this, the coffee dates and walks. I want to be part of your life, Mark. He looked into her eyes, feeling a surge of emotion. I want that too. You've already changed my world. Jasmine leaned in, her voice barely a whisper. Then let's take the next step. Together. Marcus nodded, heart pounding. Whatever it takes. They spent the evening planning, talking about blending their worlds, supporting each other's dreams, and facing challenges hand in hand. Outside, the city buzzed with life, but inside, a quiet promise was born, a new beginning for two souls. Once lost, now found. Spring had fully arrived, and with it came a sense of renewal not just in the world but in Marcus and Jasmine's lives. Their relationship had grown from tentative conversations to a strong, comforting presence that neither had expected but both deeply cherished. That weekend, Marcus invited Jasmine and his daughters to a picnic at the park, a chance to blend their worlds and create new memories together. He had spent days preparing, picking out the perfect spot and preparing homemade food and treats. Jasmine arrived, radiant in a casual dress, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers. The girls' 6-year-old twins with snow-white hair ran toward her with wide smiles, instantly embracing her like an old friend. Throughout the afternoon, laughter filled the air. Marcus watched as Jasmine played games with his daughters, sharing stories and joy effortlessly. It was a scene of hope and healing, a testament to how far they had come. Later, as the sun began to set, Marcus pulled Jasmine aside. I want you to know, he said, that meeting you changed everything. You gave me hope when I thought there was none left. Jasmine smiled softly. And you showed me strength, in spite of everything. They stood together in a warm glow, hands entwined. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them side by side, stronger, united, and ready to build the future they both dreamed of.